Hello guys, welcome to our channel Coding with Karthik. So this session we are going to discuss about Python functions. This topic is really useful. So if you want to become a real-time developer, right, you must have this knowledge about functions and how it works and what is the use. So and how many ways we can call the functions or how many ways we can pass the arguments to the functions. Okay, so it is going to be very interesting and please be focused. So before we start the session, I'm just requesting you to please subscribe to our channel Coding with Karthik and like and share the videos. So it is kind of encouragement for me to make more videos. Okay, so thank you for watching. Okay, so yeah, let's begin the session. So first, what is function and why? So it is the definitions are very simple. So it is it is set of instructions to execute the specific action. So set of instruction means, so it is like, suppose if you want to add two variables, right? So that means we need to have a plus operator and we'll use those variables to add. So and it is simple, but when you have the when you need logic, let's say if you want to find the factorial of the number, right? So in that case it is not simple that you have to have some logic to get the factorial. So that means to execute or to do that specific task or action, right? We will write few instructions and we are calling it as a function, and we'll call that function whenever we need that task to be executed. So that is what function. So and why we need to have the function? So without function can't we become a programmer, or can't we do a logic? No. Since, so just assume, let's say you have logic that needs hundreds of thousands of lines of code. Okay, so in that case, so it is very difficult to handle the entire code or the entire logic, right? So that's why we'll split that logic into the block of code which is function. So and we'll reuse the, let's say if you want to redo the same thing, right? And then you can just call that function and you can reuse it. So that's why we are calling. So function is reusable, and also it is very easy to organize and manageable, and that means even for new developers it is very easy for them to understand why and what is this function to, because it is only smaller piece of code, right? So that's why they can easily understand. So we are and also we are breaking down entire logic into the smaller chunks of code. And also it is easy to debug in the sense like, suppose if you face any issue or any bug, right? So then you can just go to that specific task or specific function. So where you try to identify the what is the bug or where it is going wrong, so you can easily debug the issue. Okay, so that's why uh, we are using functions in the programming. So every programming have the functions mostly. So without function it is very difficult to handle the logic. Okay, so that's why we are using functions. And now syntax. So this is at the left side, it is function definition, and right side we are just calling that function. So we are in Python we'll use def keyword to create the function, and this is add is the function name, and x comma y are the function parameters, and the inside, right? So we have given indentation. So with the same indentation we have the set of uh, instructions, so which are function body or function logic. Okay, so I mean function code, and so we are returning addition of x plus y. So we are returning the results here. So this is a return statement, and also here it you can see the column. So this is syntax. So we have to give the column to define the function. So and then we'll start the function logical body here after the colon, and so this is how the function syntax. Okay, now when we are calling the function, right, we'll just use that function name and we'll pass the arguments. So see, so in Python, so parameters and arguments are both are same, but when we are calling it, we say it as arguments, the values, right? So we are naming it as arguments, and in function definition, right? We'll generally consider these are the parameters to the function. Okay, so but mostly these are the same. No need to get confusion. So, but the namings are a little bit different. Okay, yeah. Now we are going to see the example like how real-time example, and we'll just create some function and we'll call that function. Okay, yeah. So here is my VS Code. So let me zoom it bit. Okay, yeah. Now I'm just entering the Python basics. So inside this, let me create one file, test functions.py. Yeah. So this is how. So now let me create one simple function. So addition function, what we show, right? What we shown. So let me create so x comma y and return x plus y. So, so x plus y. So if I call this function, right? Let me just here. So let me just assign the results to the RGS and let me print it out. Print the response. Okay, results. Okay. Now. So now if you execute it, right, Python space test function, sorry, yeah, sorry for the mistake. So yeah, see, now the response is 8. So it is written the addition, right? So that means that these are the parameters and we are passing the arguments 3 comma 5 in place of x and y, and it is adding the two parameters and it is sending back the response. So this is how return statement works. So if in case you have one function, let me try to create one function for employee information to print the employee information. Okay, so this employee information, and so uh, I'm not sure if the maybe the function body or logic. Then I can use some pass statement. Okay, so that means even if you call this function, right? So even without the logic, it will not throw any error, right? So see, it is not throwing error since we have defined the function and we just give the pass statements. So that means if you're not sure of the logic and if you just want to have the placeholder for the function, right? So without any error, if you want to call that function, then you have to use this pass. So without pass, let's say if you try to comment it, see, so it will definitely throw an error. So it has to, you need to have the at least pass statement if you're not sure about the logic inside the function. So this is the use of the pass statement. And now, so let me comment it out these two codes. Okay, yes, okay. Now let me have some parameters for the employee function. So maybe name, so ID and location. Okay. So if I print this, okay, name is name and print ID, just, okay, ID and print location is location. Okay. So I have to pass the same thing here. So Karthik something. Let me give ID 1234 and location give Bangalore. Okay. So let me execute this now. Yeah, sorry. Here I have to give the comma. Yeah, yeah. See, now the output is we are printing the name, ID, and location. So in the by default, we need to pass the same number of parameters to the same number of arguments to the function as how many parameters it has. So we have three parameters, so that's why we need to pass the three arguments to the function while calling. Suppose let me remove this one. So let's see what will be the issue. See, because the function expect three here, right? Let's say in this example it is expecting three variables when it is calling, but we are just calling with only two variables, so that's why it is giving the error like, so missing one required positional arguments location. So that's why we have to pass the same number of arguments by default. Okay, this is how it works. And next, so there is we can pass any type of any data type as a argument, something like list, dictionary, tuple. So you can pass any type of argument, any type of data type in Python. So now any data type is better. Now let me consider one more thing. So there's one more way, like we can pass let's say if you change this order. Okay, let me change the order now. So what it happens, so let's see. So it is printing name as this one and ID as Bangalore and location is Karthik. So that means in this case the order is important, right? So we have to consider the order while calling the function. But to avoid this issue, we can pass argument as key value pair. So that means we can consider this as ID equal to, and here we can consider this as location equal to, and here we can consider this as something like name equal to. So in this case we are passing arguments as key and value pair. So if you just execute it, see now it is proper. So that means uh, uh, if you like in regular way, right, by default without key and value pair you have to concern about the order of the arguments, but now we no need to concern, we just pass key and value pair in any order. So here order is doesn't matter, so that is the use of this key and value pair arguments. Now let's say, let me get back to the previous thing. So here let's say if you're not sure about the how many parameters need to be passed to the function. Okay, so in that case we can simply consider as, okay, let me comment it out this one. Okay, let me have one more function. Okay, so here uh, you're not sure about how many arguments has to be passed to the function, right? So in that case we can use arbitrary arguments. So that means we just need to add the star uh, before to the argument. So that means, so here, so the function will get all these argument arguments, right? So as a tuple of tuple. So that means we can access the each argument as a item in the tuple. So now we can just print employee info here. Okay, so let me print out this employee info and let's see the output. So see, this is we are getting this as a tuple, and we have ID and the location and name. So we can access tuple. I think I already have taken the session, so you can check my YouTube channel. So on tuple, so you can just get you will get some idea how to access the tuple elements. Okay, this is how we pass many number of arguments to the function. Okay, now the next thing is, so even in the key value argument set, there also we can pass arbitrary keyword arguments. So let me show you that example also. Okay, so those are arbitrary keyword arguments. Okay, so maybe let me make it id equal to and location equal to and name equal to. Okay, so to pass arbitrary keywords, right, so keyword arguments, then we need to make the two stars. Okay, so then the function will receive the argument as a dictionary. Okay, let me check it out here. See, so now the employee info is dictionary with the key and value page. So this is how we use the arbitrary arguments and sorry sorry, arbitrary keyword arguments. Okay, so this is that means if we are not sure about how many arguments to be passed with, then we can, in the function definition, we can have this kind of syntax and we can pass arguments here. So that means in the future if you add any additional argument, right, so it will not affect the function definition, so it will work perfectly. So this is how it works. And now, so let me get back to the previous one. Okay, So here, let me remove key and value page. So we have, so what is the name, ID and location? Okay, okay, see, it is printing now. uh, the thing is, let's say if you want to have the some default value for the function parameter. So if you want to have the default parameter value, then we can consider it as, so we can have it as something like location equal to Bangalore. So in this case, even if you don't pass the location, right, it will consider that Bangalore location. So so I'm just removing this. See, now the location is Bangalore. But if you want to change that location, right, then you can just simply use the, you can just simply pass the argument. Okay, see, now the location is Chennai. So that means you can have the default parameter value, so whenever you think that is required. Okay, so so here the default location is Bangalore, but if you want to update or override that, right, you can just pass that parameter. So this is how the default function parameter works. Okay, so I think these are the function basics. So I'm just concluding the entire section. So function is nothing but a set of instructions and block of code which is used to perform the specific task. So the syntax I already explained, right? So one second, let me show you the syntax once. So here's the syntax for the function, and also like why we use function, reusability, and breakdown into the smaller chunks and easy to debug. So there are a lot of uses of the function, and yeah. So in the next section, we are going to discuss about function recursion. So that means, uh, so I will explain in detail what is recursive and how, I mean, what is the function recursion. So thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe to our channel Coding with Karthik, and thank you.